Hello everyone and welcome to Life Transformation UK. My name is Ben, and in this video today I want to talk to you about why it's so important that you create a self-care routine for yourself. Now, for those of you who might not be familiar with what self-care is, this is anything that you can do that is going to improve either your physical health, your mental health, or perhaps even your emotional health as well. And it can mean a lot of different things to different people. For me, it really means anything that I am doing that is moving me towards the completion of my goals and helping me to become the best possible version of myself, whether that is for my physical health, whether it is for my mental health, whether it's for my emotional health, or whether it is just in my personal life as well. I think self-care is probably one of the most important things that is not being talked about as often as it should be, because we are being shown and told every single day that our attention needs to be elsewhere. We are so focused on things like politics and the environment and helping other people that we sometimes forget to help ourselves, because it's difficult to understand those competing priorities. Absolutely, we need to be focusing on what's going on in the current political climate. We need to be knowing what's going on in the environment and what we can do to improve things. We also need to know how to help people and how we combat the bigger problems in life, whether that be cultural or social or political, doesn't matter what it is, but we should always be coming back to, firstly, how am I looking after myself? How am I making sure that I'm showing up in my own world to be the best possible version of myself? And a lot of people will think that this is a selfish perspective to take, but I can assure you that investing in your own self-care is one of the most selfless things that you can do. And I know I use the analogy on this channel a lot, but it's very much like the whole aircraft air mask thing, where before you help anyone put on their air mask on a plane that's crashing or having trouble, you put yours on first, because that means that if that person passes out or gets injured and for whatever reason, because you have your oxygen mask on, you can help them. You're in a better position to help them. And that's what I think about the entire situation. We're in a much better position to make the world a better place and to help other people when we have firstly taken care of ourselves and we are in a position where we can do that. Self-care is important because it really helps you to alleviate your stress and depression, anxiety, things like that. It also demonstrates to yourself that you know what your worth is. And that's something that a lot of us forget, is that we all have personal worth. And when we are so focused on other people, what we are sometimes unconsciously telling ourselves is that we don't matter. And as an individual, you do need to take care of yourself, because there is no guarantee that anyone else is going to do it for you. It is only guaranteed that you can take action to help yourself. For me, self-care was really, really important because it's shifted me out of the thinking patterns that I was in before, and it helped me get into a place of self-love and a place where I was taking care of myself. I was going through a lot of issues with anxiety and also with self-harm and self-hatred, self-loathing, things like that. And learning about self-care and how to use it in my life was a massive pivot point for me, because I was able to see what I was doing to create the circumstances in my life and what I could do to actually change them, starting first of all with taking care of myself and treating myself like I wanted to treat other people, rather than constantly punishing myself or ignoring my own needs. Like I said, it's not selfish to look after yourself. It is the best thing that you can do in certain situations. Now, a quick note for any guys that are watching this video. Self-care is not something that you should be ashamed of, and I know that there is a lot that goes into kind of the identity of being a man that says that we don't talk about this and we don't feel this, we don't do X, Y, and Z, and that can be a very, very unhelpful mindset to be in, because men have problems just as much as women do, or any other type or identity of person. Strength doesn't come from denying your problems. It doesn't come from pretending that these things don't exist. Strength is admitting where we are flawed, where we are weak, so that we can work on those areas. That is what actual strength is, not covering everything up with a false sense of bravado and kind of manliness. There is no shame in helping yourself and doing the things that you need to do to bring yourself up to a point of physical and mental and emotional health. And this goes far, far beyond hitting the gym every now and then and meeting up with the lads for kind of banter and fun and things like that. This goes more into the things that we have to do as individuals to make our lives better and become the best possible versions of ourselves. So what actually goes into a self-care routine? Well, for everyone it's going to be a little bit different, and there are hundreds, maybe even thousands of different things and examples of self-care activities that you can do on the internet, and it's all about finding the right balance for you. It's all about what you are going to be doing to improve your physical, mental or emotional health and become the best version of yourself. And this means understanding where you are now and where you want to be, and also charting a path from where you are to that point as well. Creating an action plan of things you need to achieve in your life to reach your dream and kind of be all that you've ever thought that you could possibly be. So like I said, there's hundreds, maybe even thousands of different examples of activities and things that you can do. I'm going to go through a few of the most popular ones that I was able to find during my research of this over the last few years. One of the most popular forms of self-care for mental health is mindfulness or meditation. Just training your mind to not identify with the automatic thoughts that pop in and out at random points in our lives, and showing us that whilst we might not always be in control of our thoughts, we are always in charge of how we react and respond to them. And that's what mindfulness and meditation is all about, kind of taking control of the reaction and the response to what's going on in life. And that can quickly spill out over into how to combat stress a little bit easier, how to deal with anxiety, how to overcome depression, how to deal with situations in life where you need to keep a calm and clear mind. Other things that you might do to improve your mental health might involve going on regular walks outside, getting some sunlight, walking out in nature, doing what you can to get out of the stuffiness of the house or the flat or the office and just getting out and walking outside, being among people or being in nature. That can have profound benefits to your mental health. You might also invest a little bit more heavily into a spiritual or religious practice, or you could find a therapist or a coach and they can really help you with building up your levels of mental health in your life as well. And these are just a few of the examples that come to mind. In terms of improving your emotional health, you can spend more time with friends and family. You can spend time every day or every other day writing in a journal about your feelings, about your emotions, about what's going on in your life that maybe you don't necessarily want to talk to other people about, but by putting it down there on a piece of paper or on your online diary in your phone, that is going to be helping you to understand what's going on and also to get an idea of how you can cope with these things that are happening in your life. And another popular thing that you can do for your emotional health is keep a gratitude diary as well, of things that you are grateful for on a daily basis, things that sometimes you forget about and sometimes we can take for granted, but by always coming back to a place of gratitude, that can be really, really good for improving our emotional health. Physical health is a lot easier to kind of give examples for of things that you can do. It's things like going to the gym, playing a sport, doing yoga, doing Pilates, eating healthy, and of course things like keeping a good sense of personal hygiene. All of these things are absolutely essential for building into your self-care routine. Some of these things you'll do daily, some of them you'll do on a weekly basis. Some of them you'll only have to do as kind of like a drop-in session for yourself. Like you might not always every single day go for a walk out in nature, but you make a concerted effort to do it every couple of weeks just to get that sense of reconnection back in your life. You might not go to the gym every day, but you probably would eat healthier every day, things like that. And you don't have to do everything. You don't even have to do any of the things that I have mentioned on this list. Your self-care routine is going to be very, very personal to you, and it takes time to develop. So maybe just try 1 or 2 things at a time, and if they work for you, keep them and then add something more to it. Or if they don't work, get rid of them and try something else. And over time, build up this list of things that you are doing to improve your levels of self-care in your life. So to give you an example of the things that I do to improve my levels of personal self-care, they are things like I try and eat healthy as often as I can do. So trying to stay away, sometimes failing, but often as I can, trying to stay away from things like junk food and sweets and chocolate, things like that, trying to eat more healthy things, trying to keep a relatively balanced diet of good sources of protein and carbohydrates and healthy fats, things like that. Working out, playing sports. I play badminton with a few friends of mine a couple times a week. I work out in the gym, I go for runs. I'm training towards doing a Spartan race, or 3 Spartan races and a half marathon this year, just all as part of my effort to improve my physical health. I love to spend time with my friends and my family as well. I love to spend time with my parents, my brothers, my sisters, my little niece and nephew. I love spending time with all of them. That is a great source of comfort for me, and is also a great way for me to connect with other people as well, and to remind myself that I am not my problems. I am not the events that are going on in my life. I'm my own person. And there are things outside of my problems and stresses and anxieties that are good in the world. I also like to read a lot. I've got a lot of books on my desk that I'm trying to finish off this year, and then I've got a lot of audiobooks I try to listen to on a regular basis when I'm traveling or commuting to anywhere, or when I'm just doing kind of household chores that I need to get done. I will have an audiobook on to try and get more knowledge and get more understanding of how to become the best version of myself. And then the last thing I do for my personal self-care is that I try to live within my core values, one of which is to try and help people every single day. So I'm always trying to help people. I'm always trying to do more for the people in my life and the people who are coming into my life from my YouTube channel, from Facebook, from my blog, from anywhere like that. So that's what I do for my own personal self-care routine and practice. Some of those things I do on a daily basis, and there's a lot more that goes into it, and there's some things on that list and on my list of unspoken things as well that I don't do on a daily basis, that I only have to do every week or every month, every 6 months or whatever it is, like setting my monthly, quarterly and yearly goals. The thing with self-care is that it does not have to take a very, very long time. It is something that you can do in 5 minutes of your day, and that's what I would like to challenge you in the remainder of this video to do, is to identify some things that you can do for 5 minutes every day for the next 30 days that will either improve your physical, your mental or your emotional health. So it might be doing 20 push-ups in the morning, keeping a gratitude diary and spending more time out in nature. Whatever it is that you decide to do, just spend 5 minutes a day doing this for 30 days and just see how your life changes when you start to focus on your own self-care. And make sure that that is the intention when you are doing these things, that it is about taking care of yourself and not just ticking off a self-care checklist. Remember to always check in with yourself to find out what you need, what it is that you have to do in this moment to make yourself happy or to make yourself fulfilled or to work towards becoming the best version of yourself, and then do that. It's not all about massive action all the time. Sometimes it's just about the little things that we can do every single day to make our lives a little bit better. So I hope that that has been helpful. That is my kind of comprehensive guide or comprehensive short guide to self-care. As I said, there's thousands of different examples of things that you can do for self-care activities, so I'd encourage you to do some research and really find out what works for you. Experiment, just spend 5 minutes a day for the next 30 days working on your own personal levels of self-care. Keep that intention of improving yourself to become the best version of you in your mind when you're doing that, and let me know how you get on. Leave a comment below letting me know what it is that you're going to be trying to do to transform your life and to bring better levels of self-care into your life. Also, if you have enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, make sure to like it and share it as well. And if you want to keep up to date with more videos like this in the future, not just on self-care but also on self-improvement, healthy life habits, and generally how to become the best version of yourself, make sure that you are subscribed to Life Transformation UK. We've got 2 videos coming out every single week, so make sure that you are subscribed so that you can get access to those as soon as they come out. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos very soon.